Doctor Who 2022 specials. Legend of the Sea Devils. Okay. Where do we start? It's not the worst outing Chibnall's had. I mean, it doesn't. It's not Arachnids in the UK. It's
Yeah.
Orphan 55 or whatever number it was. Like it's
Oh
not.
my God. Oh, oh. I
Yeah.
mean, it used a nice historical reference point, a character that doesn't really get the attention she should, being the most badass pirate ever.
But yeah, I
She
mean,
actually had an entire armada.
but yeah, it's hmm. The Sea Devils are interesting. It was an interesting costume choice. I,
That's what the Sea Devils looked like.
yeah, but I was thinking usually they update them a little bit, to make them,
I appreciate that they didn't update them.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's just usually they take the okay. Well, that was because they do feel like they're from classic, sort of.
Yeah.
They're they're they feel very classic Who in their design. And usually they update them a little bit, but it's a
They updated the outfits they wore. They didn't update so much the actual
yeah. They basically
outfit.
pulled the same prosthetics and helmet and all that sort of stuff off of them, and then just dressed them up differently. Um, but yeah.
Yeah. I
uh,
will send you the originals looked like.
but anyway, let's see what else.
I mean, I just found this episode kind of fishy.
Yeah.
It it
I think the writer was all wet.
Meh.
But I mean, some people liked it, and I say whatever floats your boat.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I just have a question though. How many bloody species were there before humans?
2.
Okay, so
And
just those two then.
they're both technically from the same base species, but evolved differently. The sea
One land,
devils
one water.
are the sea devils are aquatic reptilian sapiens, and the Silurians are land reptilian sapiens.
I wonder if they get along.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends, and I don't think they've ever been in an episode together except for that Big Finish story.
Yeah.
Which brings up
Although
yeah.
canon that dragons are the aerial reptilian sapiens. That way you have land, sea, and air. But that's just a headcanon, and they don't actually have dragons. And I mean, they don't have terrestrial dragons in Doctor Who. Because they did have draconians. But anyway.
They do have wizards, but usually they just turn out to be the Doctor. But yeah, it does seem interesting. Like, it would depend on what. I've got a feeling it's going to depend on what groups meet, if they would get along or not. Like, it seems like these are big populations. There are ones that would be entirely pacifist, just okay, live and let live, and then there's going to be
most of the Sea Devils were pretty passive. They were usually used as they were usually a catalytic character rather than like the main antagonist. Like in the first episode they were in, the Doctor Who episode, the Sea Devils from the third Doctor era, the Master was the one using them, like controlling them. The Master was the main antagonist there.
Another interesting thing, I haven't looked this up, but did they ever know, like they call the humans the land crawlers, and the humans, Doctor called them Sea Devils, but they ever come up with what their actual name was?
I don't know. I
don't think they ever did. I'd have to crawl the wiki, I guess. But like what their actual proper name is, like, because the Sea Devil took it as an insult, so it's like, okay, well, what are you? Never mind.
Well, also he was also just calling them land parasites. Like,
yeah,
that was just.
Yeah, but it seems like, we never, like, either Sea Devils or, that's not a term they like, or they, like, we know some of you call us Sea Devils, we don't like that. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. But then again, the Doctor goes all over the timeline, so they could have met the Doctor at a different point.
Let's see. They're also called aquatic Silurians, Reptilia sapiens, Homo reptilia, and Earth reptile.
I want to call them the blubs of the sea.
And they would probably call you an idiot.
Probably.
Now he is a land parasite.
Hey, just because I've probably eaten some of the brethren doesn't mean I'm a land parasite.
But yeah, they did mention that they're usually honorable, like they have a code of some sort, chivalry of some degree. So I assume that, she had to make that explicit exception for this group because they weren't acting like normal Sea Devils.
Yeah.
Because otherwise this doesn't make any sense if their lore is these people are mostly these are mostly just, they want to hide away, stay in the ocean, and not be bothered by anybody. And generally are honorable. It's like, yeah, these guys are different. These guys are weird. But and apparently can be frozen in stone.
Well, that's
with that device.
Yeah,
with that, and survive. It's like, okay. But
well, they're a hardy species. They can survive the crushing depths of the ocean.
Fair enough.
Without getting the bends when they come into land. Most species, even like naturally aquatic species from deep sea level, when you pull them up, they get the bends.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen
blobfish.
I've seen pictures of fish that were caught, deep sea fish that were caught and pulled up, and their swim bladder explodes out of their mouth.
Ooh.
It looks like a giant fat tongue, but that's actually their swim bladder swelling and pushing their organs out.
Yeah. Apparently, the blobfish does not look like the blobfish, because that sort of picture is from them being not at the right pressure. If you actually encountered them at the right pressure, like in a submarine, and you were looking out at them, they would look very different from what I've heard. But yeah, it's, what do I say about this?
They look very different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we got the kind of love interest thing again.
Yeah, but they kind of they kind of shut it down, which they kind of need
Yes,
to resolve it before
go.
the next episode is Regeneration, which is kind of abrupt, but I suppose that's normal sort of Regeneration well, except 10 got a huge lead up to his regeneration in terms of foreshadowing and such. And it looks like we're finally gonna kind of come back to what the end of the what was it called? The whole 6-part series we had last year.
Oh, the Flux.
Flux, yeah, we're gonna. It looks like from the previews we're gonna get something to resolve.
I didn't look at the previews. I stopped with the end credits.
Oh.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay,
it
well,
kinda
yeah, I just
felt like
assumed. Yeah, you that was
I
part of the episode.
never look at previews. I never actually. I try to never watch the previews, which is why I appreciate them when they put them at the end of the credits, because those are spoilers. I don't watch adverts for them either. Like, if I'm already gonna watch Joe, I'm not gonna watch commercials for it because that'll spoil shit.
Okay, well then
And
I'll just
it'll
leave it
be-
at I'll leave it at
doesn't-
what I've already messed up.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, like these last episodes, it just kind of seems like, hey, let's forget about the Flux and just you know, scan the ride.
Yeah,
back
this
ever
one
after.
felt kind of like, aside from Dan being there, like Flux never happened.
yeah, I think that's kind of what they're with these episodes. The last couple episodes we're just let's have some normal episodes before we do the finale. And so,
Yeah.
like, we have this time where Flux is resolved for now. There's nothing really going on. No real long-term major storylines. I mean, you got the Yaz thing going on, but it's sort of a back burner issue that if you really didn't address it, nobody would really say anything. Like,
Yeah,
they would say something about it, but it wouldn't be
'Cause
missed.
you would have all of those internet shippers be like, "What about my Faz?
But
My
yeah,
Phasmin?" You know,
I don't think we would have lost much.
I mean,
I think it was a
put it, yeah.
it was a damp squib. It was just sort of, it kind of came out of nowhere over the last little bit and then just went to nowhere.
I feel like what they're doing with this is kind of trying to build another Rose Doctor thing where at the point of her regeneration, it would just give you some emotional trauma. Not emotional trauma, but like emotional
weight
to the regeneration, because now you have that Yasmin like actually in this sort of pseudo relationship with the Doctor and have like this emotional connection with the Doctor that they just threw her in just for this situation. Like,
yeah, it feels a
also,
little tacked on.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it
But
long enough ago
also-
that it's not like last episode tacked on, but they set it up a little bit, but it's not been like a consistent sort of thing for a long time. They just sort of, let's do this now, and then just sort of forget about it. And half the time we don't even address this. It's like, okay. And I prefer the way the Doctor handled it in this episode, and that no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm always on the go. You know.
It's more like, listen, I have been through a lot of you guys, and it always hurts, and I'm tired. And it's understandable. Like, she just doesn't want to get hurt again, which, considering her lifespan compared to her human lifespan, it's going to happen. It's like having a pet where you love that pet and eventually that pet's going to die. And you either get numb to that or you stop having pets because you're afraid, because you know it's going to end sometime.
Yeah, it's just
Getting attached.
Yeah, it's just, getting
hurts.
too far attached. It's. I mean, you had River, but River's a special case.
Also, River is
is
longer lived.
Yeah, and she's a time traveler, so he runs into her all the time in weird positions, and they have to constantly check notes as to where they're at. In
Exactly, which is why River was a special case, because she's basically another Time Lord, a made Time Lord created by the TARDIS, and but, which I'm not even going to go into that because that's not this episode, but being Time Lord, like, she at least has a long enough lifespan for to be worth the connection.
Yeah, we had the last, like, the sort of prophecy, how she was going to die, is like her last night will be spent at this place, and it's like, how long is a night on with the whistling or the singing stones or whatever it was? And it's like, well, how long is a night on this? It's like years or something. It's like,
24 years, I think it was.
Sorry, what?
24 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like, so yeah, he probably spent 24 years on that planet at some point, just to kind of be with River. And he'd already spent a long time with her anyway. And so, like, he could actually enjoy that. Like, yeah, she was a special case, but
yeah.
And so, but see, we've already covered that. Most of the episode, I think, without having the thought, I can't think of anything. It doesn't go too crazy. Like, everything, like, I'm not thinking of obvious, just dead obvious plot holes. The pirate guy sacrificing himself at the end was noble, a little odd. It felt a little odd, but it's not ridiculous.
Well, not really. It seemed a bit obvious to me, honestly. Like, because he came into the story as a character that was, superfluous. He was a plot device.
Yeah. Well, what he was initially, you paint him as the the villain of the story of his ship, when in
Mhm.
reality he was trying to resist the Sea Devils and save his crew and get the stone away from the Sea Devils. So he got that redemption, though he was never bad. He was just, we didn't get to see the full story. And
Yeah.
then so when we see him again, he's like, he's for a pirate, he seems honorable. I mean, he's a pirate, but he's honorable, it seems.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's the only person you can do that with. So he
Because
is,
want to get her family back.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, everybody else has a reason to leave. He still has a reason to leave because he, desired to live. But the Doctor has a reason to leave. Yaz has a reason to leave. Everybody else has, somebody waiting for them on the outside. And
I mean,
or
Oh.
go ahead.
I mean, honestly, I think him, sacrifice himself is the smart thing to do, because he doesn't have to deal with taxes. Yes, welcome to the future and taxes. It's like, fuck.
This wasn't the future. This
I know
was
it's not the future, but they still had taxes back then.
Yeah, but he was a pirate.
Yeah.
Well,
They follow the tax rules.
Yeah.
good.
Though it's still, there's always the thing about with as long as the TARDIS exists, there's always going to be this one thing, like, it's risky, but like, you can move in time. So as soon as you leave the room, in that, like, as soon as you get out of the room, the Doctor and everybody leaves the room, and you get back to the TARDIS, you can move in time, in space, so you could have come back and set something up, bring some, go someplace else, get what you need, come back, go visit the pirate guy, set it up to where he doesn't have to stand there, and then get back, grab him, throw him in the TARDIS, and take him back to where he, to some other place, wherever he wants to go. It's always a thing with the TARDIS, but it's not, it's understood that they just don't a lot of the time.
Yeah, although it's sad Dan's gonna leave soon, it looks like.
Oh,
I
Oh,
doubt
man.
anybody crosses over. I doubt anybody crosses over with the new Doctor.
that's my new
True.
favorite.
Because
He looks good in the pirate outfit.
He does. That pirate he was rocking that pirate outfit, bruh.
I love the part. It's like, where did you learn to fight? My mom.
You should have seen my mom.
yeah, the thing
It
is,
really is hard.
yeah, between showrunners, I mean, we have limited examples, but between every showrunner, they basically wiped the slate and
Yeah.
brought a whole new cast on. Because, 10 to 11, everybody's gone. He's fresh. Amy Rory, boom. When you get from 12 to 13, wipe the slate clean. Whole gaggle of companions. I'm not sure that's the proper group name for a group of companions, but a gaggle is fun.
It is. Gaggle makes me giggle.
Yes.
Not really.
A giggle, a gaggle, a gaggle, a giggle.
But I'm sure a gaggle makes Madrock giggle.
But, Yeah, there's. I mean, it's nothing. This
You
episode
know what?
wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it wasn't
I did get
horrible
one
either.
spoiler. I did get one spoiler, and that wasn't from the episode or anything. And I don't even know if this counts as the spoiler because I don't know if it was this or if it was a Big Finish thing. But I saw that Ace and Tegan are going to come back as guest characters. Classic Doctor Who characters.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites. She's the one with the Nitro 9 who goes and blows everything up. She's the one with the 7th Doctor where the Doctor's like, Ace, you haven't been doing anything you haven't been going and doing anything dangerous and going against my wishes and making more Nitro 9, have you? Of course not, Doctor. I'm a good girl. And you haven't been doing anything incredibly dangerous and having some on you, right? No. Good. Go blow that up. I love that line.
Yeah. Because
the Doctor's just so accepting. It's like, I told you, don't carry around explosives. Okay, I didn't. I totally didn't. Good. Go blow that up.
No disintegrations. What was I gonna say? Yeah, this episode was average. There was nothing amazing about it, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was very by the book and very.
And it was actually for a 13. It was a decent episode.
Yeah, because they played it more safe. They didn't do anything too outlandish, and they kept the plot fairly simple, and somebody must have gotten it into Chibnall over the head, or whoever. I didn't see who wrote this, but I would imagine it was Chibnall or whoever did write this. Like, they actually have a sense of timing, and so the ending didn't feel completely rushed with huge plot holes.
Yeah, and it didn't have that beat you over the head with the moral the entire time. I mean, the Doctor was still moral. The Doctor still had her moral compass with, like, you
don't
didn't
kill.
need to kill him.
Yeah,
I don't kill. We don't kill. Why did you kill him? But at the same time, it wasn't, oh my God, nobody should die. Like, it was, the Doctor still has her morals. The Doctor is still the Doctor.
The Doctor said something, but the Doctor had other things to deal with at the time.
Exactly.
So
it's not like she's sitting there chastising. She's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I don't like that, but I've got other shit to take care of. Stop that.
Exactly.
But I got other shit to deal with. I got bigger fish to fry. Almost literally.
They're reptiles, not fish. They'd be more like bigger crocs to fry, okay?
That's why I said almost. They're fish-like. They may be reptilian, but they're fish-like in some regards. Because there's no such thing as a fish. But that's getting off at a whole nother can of worms, and just leave that right there. Let the fish eat them. What else? Yeah, it's hard to say anything about it because it was kind of paint by numbers. It wasn't anything revolutionary, but it wasn't terrible either. It wasn't good, like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, or this is horrible, but it was just sort of It didn't have somebody beat him over the head with the timing stick and the plot hole stick, and so he simplified what he was doing and kept an eye on the time.
Mhm.
I think that basically sums up this episode for the most part. It's just like, didn't do anything amazing, but didn't massively screw it up either, so it was okay, which for a 13th Doctor is above average. You know, when the bar is low, average is good.
Well, I mean, when the bar is low, usually average is exceptional.
When the bar is low, you limbo.
Sometimes
don't
Chibnall
know.
has done that. We set the bar low and he has found a way to go under it. But yeah, it is. The characters are decent. Nobody acts ridiculously out of character. They at least hang a lampshade on. These Sea Devils aren't acting like most Sea Devils. So
Yeah.
So at least they hung a lampshade. They said, "Oh yeah, no, we understand these guys." And she said, "Yes, they are weird. This is not normal behavior for them." So at least the non-normal behavior is acknowledged. But yeah, I mean, I just didn't have oddly enough, I didn't have a lot to say about this episode.
A shock.
Yeah, it's okay.
I guess that wraps up that one then.
Alrighty.
And hello, everybody.
Only one more Chibnall episode. I think.
Was it only one? I thought they were doing. Were they only doing 3 this run?
Yeah, it's just specials. They're doing.
I know, but were they only doing 3 specials?
I believe so. Double check later, but I'm fairly certain they're only doing 3 specials, and I think because next one is the regeneration special, so.
Now he's gonna be like, "No, I want to stay forever."
Try and pull a 10. It's like, nope. Davies probably, and it's late enough, and it's supposed to be late this year, so by that time Davies will have named his doctor probably, and that'll probably play into the handover.
Okay, yeah, the centenary special. Why is that? What? Why does it say 2002? That's not going to be the centenary special.
Okay, let me go get my time machine real quick. Excuse me.
Somebody typoed.
Oh, the BBC centenary special.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
The BBC has been around for 100 years.
Yes.
Okay, I was like,
yeah, Doctor Who has not been around for 100 years. Like, because the Day of the Doctor stuff, that was all 50. That was 50, I think. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
That's why I'm like, what?
Now be funny. Presenting.
So, I already have some spoilers just from looking at it, sadly. But they're happy. That's the episode that has Ace, Tegan, and Kate. And the Master.
That's like
and the Daleks inside of them.
Presenting our new Doctor, Benedict Cumberbatch.
I think he's got his hands full with Doctor Strange.
Well, I mean, honestly, with how long it takes to come out with these episodes, you probably could make some time.
I've heard it's quite exhausting. The and Disney is not going to let their cash cow go anywhere else. One of their cash cows go anywhere else. It's like you're making, unless we approve of it. Yeah, and he's
True.
probably way too expensive at this point, and too busy with other things. Like I would imagine he's gonna
Okay,
do.
I did not hear who he said.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Like, oh,
I was making a joke.
yeah.
But
I doubt it.
yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna guess with the centenary coming up, which is late this year. I don't know what. Do you have? Well, let me look at something real quick. We're just gonna extend the episode here a little bit to talk about the centenary, which is the next episode, a little bit in preview. The BBC Wikipedia. When was it? 18th of October, 1922. So if it's probably going to be in October then, given that 18th October. So I was wondering, like, I didn't really look at it, but I was wondering
It's just in late October.
Yeah, middle October, mid to early late October is gonna be when we get that episode, and then we're supposed to not get any more episodes until Davies comes back in November of next year. So, given that it's gonna be about a year from this to that, I imagine the doctor will get the doctor named sometime in the next 6 months. The doctor will be named probably in the next, given that they have to show up at the BBC at the studio to do the regeneration scene. Probably they're gonna, like, they can film that very quickly, but they probably want to, punch it up and hey, we're showing you who our new doctor is, and they'll probably do that sometime June, July, August, somewhere in there, I would imagine. I'm purely guessing, just as some bit of news to sort of break up the big break between this episode and the next episode. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, they probably can't get Benedict, but they could get his brother, Butternut Crinkle Fries.
What?
Wonder if he could pronounce penguin.
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 Penguin. Apparently Benedict Cumberbatch can't pronounce the word penguin properly.
To be fair, nobody else can pronounce his name, apparently.
But yeah, I saw a clip or something. He keeps calling it penguins or something like that. Oh, but yeah, I don't know. We can sit here and speculate, but we can probably make a few guesses. They'll be British.
Idris Elba.
I doubt that. I don't know. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of other things. So
He was Luther. I mean, he's
not
done TV serials.
Yeah, I'm just thinking whether he's cooled off enough that that's a thing that they could do. Like, he's a big popular actor with just an amazing voice that I think they use a lot in, like, he does some voice acting. I I don't know that much about his work like Luther. I don't know that very well, but I know he's got an
I
amazing
watched
voice.
it because of one of the people in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I remember. He's just got this. And at one point, they were, somebody was, oh, Bond. But well, there was news about him. Apple TV Plus thriller series Hijack. He's supposed to executive produce. So, yeah, I don't see. He's 49. He's not too old to be the Doctor. Yeah. And, he's a well-known name. It just depends on what he wants to do. I mean, with that Hijack thing.
He voices Knuckles. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I haven't actually watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2 yet.
Yeah.
He voices Knuckles, dude.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he was Heimdall.
Heimdall and Knuckles. Yeah, he's done some little parts here and there, and he had this big series with Luther, and he's done lots of things. I mean, maybe not all of them big in the U.S., but he's done a lot of things.
I've done all the things.
And he's been little, he's been people you like, hey, that's, you catch him here and there in a lot of little things. And so it's not out of the question if he doesn't have a lot to do. Like, he's got his
he has 7 in upcoming projects.
Yeah, yeah, it depends on what he, if he
4 of them are in development, so
yeah. Yeah, it depends on what he's wanting to do. Like, he seems to have plenty of. Oh, they're filming another thing of Luther.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. So probably not. I mean, I would imagine he's not going to do that because, yeah. He's. Yeah. I think he would make a fine Doctor, but I don't know that he's going to want to do the Doctor. At least at this point in his career, he's got too much going on for him want to do that. Now, in maybe a decade or two, maybe in a decade or so, he might be, a cool enough commodity that he could do that, but I don't know. He seems a little busy. Again, not saying I wouldn't want him, but that he looks busy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can sit here and speculate till the cows come home, but
it's like the first Doctor Who, and a shock that nobody saw, will be American. He'll be a cowboy.
Oh yeah, no, they're not gonna do that. Yeah.
No.
There was a plan to do an American Doctor Who, but kind of at one point there was some thoughts on it, but it never really materialized.
Yeah, that's called the movie.
Yeah, that was sort of that was a balloon. That was a trial balloon, I think, to see if
was shit.
Yeah, it didn't work.
I've got to say, I honestly love McGann's Doctor after listening to the Big Finish stories. But that movie was such shite. There had to have been Weeping Angels, not Weeping Angels. There had to be the silence in there because I forget it every time I watch it. I remember tiny pieces of it, and that's it. Like, the flaming Eric Roberts master. I always dress for the occasion.
Still need to see the movie at some point.
I've watched it 3 times so far, and all 3 times afterwards I'm like, wait, what was I just doing for the last couple hours? Oh yeah, I was watching something. What was I? Oh, wait, what? Yeah, what?
Yeah, and there have been rumors flying around about all sorts of people being the next Doctor. Like, oh, rumors this person. Oh, rumors that person. The only ones who really have any clue at this point probably are Davies and maybe the Doctor themselves. Like, we have no idea who they may not, he may have already, been, I'm certain he's been auditioning at this point. As soon as he got the contract, he was probably making calls and saying, okay, well, I'll narrow it down to 3 or so.
As soon as it was acknowledged that she was stepping down, they were already casting new people.
Well, once Davies was named as the showrunner for the next bit, he was probably, it's like, okay, I have the helm. Yes. Okay, I'm going to start looking for a Doctor. Okay. And so
pardon me while I go audition.
Yeah. Well, he probably is, if he was even considering coming back, I'm sure in the back of his head he probably had a short list of people that, even when negotiations started, like in quiet moments, he probably like, I wonder what would be my short list now. And he probably has, Davies probably has had a short list going into this, and once it was announced, he started making calls, seeing who was available, who he had, like, okay, these are the kind of my short list of people I want, see who's available, and then see who the BBC will say okay on, and, once I've, once I've make sure, I'm not gonna have a problem paying them, and all that stuff, everything's gonna be okay on that end. And then once I've knocked it down to a couple, and I really start doing more heavy interviews, and then pick one, and then we'll announce it sometime during the summer, I would imagine, just to kind of give some news, so Doctor Who doesn't stay out of the news cycle. But
yeah.
It's Davies. He picked Tennant, so like, Tennant's good, and Eccleston was good. They had a falling out with Eccleston, but Eccleston was a good pick. He picked 2 good Doctors, so in my opinion, some people may not like Eccleston, but pretty much most people, at least.
I've gotta say, I don't really like Eccleston, but at the same time, after the Big Finish, I like him more.
Yeah.
I didn't like him as his run, and I think I heard listening to the behind the scenes of the Ninth Doctor Big Finish story, I think I figured out what it is. It was the fact that he wasn't really having that great of a time there. Like, he wasn't really into it as much as but at Big Finish, he's having fun, and it's like he's really enjoying it. So he you can feel that in his performance,
Yeah. And so, yeah, he picked those 2, and I like both of them. So I think most people like Tennant, but
I mean, I liked Moffat's choices too.
Oh yeah, no, Moffat's did a fine choice. Did fine choices too. Capaldi's a little bit.
I love Capaldi.
I don't hate Capaldi, and I think he did a really good job with his kind of doctor is not necessarily my favorite, but he did a very good job at playing that kind of doctor. And
Yeah.
I like him in small amounts every once in a while. And he's got some amazing speeches. The whole graveyard speeches with "I'm an idiot" with a box and a screwdriver. Passing through, helping out, learning.
Hmm.
This whole
Oh, I loved his speeches.
yeah, the whole Zygon invasion speech or inversion speech, and you know he had his whole goodbye speech, his regeneration speech was great. I love that. That was beautiful.
It
And never
was.
eat pears.
Pears are just blah, 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 blah.
But yeah, I liked. Yeah, I didn't. I never hated Capaldi, but like he was one of those ones where he's his style of doctor is not my favorite style of doctor, but I do acknowledge that he did a very good job with that style of doctor. It's like, I'm not a fan of this flavor ice cream, but I can acknowledge that it was done well.
Unless it's mint, because then I get sick.
That's true.
Actually, that was one of the things I was going to compare Capaldi to. Is like, he's kind of, for me, he's like mint chocolate chip ice cream. I love mint chocolate chip ice cream in small amounts every once in a while. Like, it's great in small amounts every once in a while. It wears on me. It's not bad, and I can tell that it's well done, but I need some time between amounts. Otherwise, it gets tiring.
Well, I mean, I like ice cream in general, but like after a while I get sick of it. Even though I really like ice cream, mostly because too much sweets just gives me a headache.
Well,
and makes my mouth feel weird.
All right. But is there? Well, I think we well overshot this thing and talked some speculation about the next Doctor, but it's coming soon-ish. We'll know, but we won't know until we know. So,